You ever notice how some people treat being busy like it's a personality trait? Like they can't just sit. They can't stand in a line without opening 3 apps, answering 2 emails, and mentally reorganizing their entire life. They do relax, they optimize recovery. Even their hobbies have deadlines. Their calendar looks like a game of Tetris played by someone who hates themselves a little. And if you ask them, "How are you?" they don't say good or tired. They say busy, like that's the whole emotional range. But here's the weird part: sometimes the busyness isn't ambition. It's anesthesia, because if they slow down for even a second, they might feel something they've been sprinting away from. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you know, but there's a hidden psychology behind the people who stay busy to stay numb. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's talk about the different kinds. There's the achiever who's secretly running from silence. You know this person, maybe you are this person. You hit goals, you collect achievements, you're productive, you're disciplined, you're on your grind. And then one random evening your plans cancel. No gym, no calls, no tasks. Just you in your room with nothing urgent to do. And suddenly your brain goes, "So we're doing feelings now?" And it's not even dramatic at first, it's just this creeping discomfort. Like the air got too quiet, like you forgot something important, like you should be doing something, anything, because doing nothing feels unsafe. Psychologically, this is often about control. Productivity becomes a way to create certainty in a world that feels emotionally unpredictable. If you can keep moving, keep achieving, keep checking boxes, then you don't have to sit with the messy stuff that can't be solved by effort. Grief, loneliness, self-doubt. That old fear that if you're not impressive, you're not lovable. And the irony is, the achiever isn't avoiding pain by being busy. They're just postponing it. Then there's the helper who stays busy so no one looks too closely. This type is always doing something for someone else. They're the friend who will drive across town at midnight because you needed to talk. They'll plan the birthday, fix the problem, mediate the argument, babysit the emotions. They're basically an unpaid therapist with great snack recommendations. But watch what happens when you ask them a simple question. "So, how are you really?" They laugh, they deflect. They hit you with, "Oh my God, don't worry about me, tell me about you." Because being needed feels safer than being known. For this person, staying busy is staying useful. And staying useful is how they protect their worth. If they're the one holding everyone together, no one has time to notice they're quietly falling apart. Also, here's the twist. Helping becomes a socially acceptable way to avoid your own inner world. It's hard to face your sadness when someone else has a crisis, and you can swoop in like an emotional superhero. But eventually, the helper gets tired, and then they feel guilty for being tired. And then they get busier to avoid the guilt. It's a loop, a very caring, very exhausted loop. Another type is the overthinker who treats busyness like a firewall. This person isn't always productive in the classic sense. Sometimes they're just mentally busy. They scroll, they binge. They listen to podcasts while cooking, while texting, while watching a show in the background. Their life has background noise like a cafe ambience video, except it's their nervous system. And if you took the noise away, their thoughts would get loud, because for the overthinker, stillness isn't peaceful. Stillness is where the mind starts rolling out the greatest hits album. Every embarrassing moment, every regret, every what if, every fear about the future. So they keep stimulation running like a generator. Psychologically, this is often avoidance mixed with anxiety regulation. Constant input prevents the brain from turning inward. It's not that they love being busy. It's that their internal world feels like a room they don't want to walk into alone. And if that hits uncomfortably close, notice how your body reacts when you're not distracted. Do you reach for your phone like it's an emotional support device? Do you feel edgy, restless, almost irritated? That's not laziness. That's your nervous system saying, "We don't know how to be here." Then there's the identity builder who does know who they are without motion. This one is subtle. They don't just do a lot. They are their busyness. They're the hardworking one, the reliable one, the one who's always doing something. They're proud of it, and honestly, they should be. Because they probably built a life through sheer persistence. But deep down, there's a fear. If I stop, what's left? Because slowing down can feel like stepping off a stage, like you'll disappear if you're not performing competence. And sometimes this comes from growing up in an environment where worth was conditional, praised for achievement, noticed for usefulness, valued for being easy and capable. So now, adulthood becomes a non-stop identity maintenance project. The busier you are, the clearer your role feels. And if you don't have a role, you might have to meet yourself, not the productive self, not the impressive self, just you. And lastly, there's the wounded optimist who stays busy because they're afraid the sadness will win. This person is always fine. They're always keeping it positive. They're always moving forward. They're the kind of person who turns heartbreak into a makeover montage by morning. And sometimes that resilience is real, but sometimes it's panic, because admitting I'm not okay feels like opening a trapdoor, so they stay in motion. Plans, projects, trips, gym, side hustle, new routine, new goal. They keep their life so full that sadness has nowhere to sit down. But sadness doesn't need a chair. It will stand in the corner until you're ready. And the moment you finally slow down, maybe on vacation, maybe at night, maybe when you accomplish the big thing you thought would fix everything, you feel it. That wave, that strange emptiness. That quiet grief you didn't schedule. So what do you do with this? First, don't shame yourself. Being busy might have been how you survived. Numbing isn't always a bad habit. Sometimes it's a protective strategy your brain built when you didn't have better tools. But you can outgrow a strategy. And a good start is asking yourself, when I'm busy, what am I avoiding? Is it sadness, loneliness, anger, a sense of not being enough? The fear that if you stop, you'll realize you don't like your life. And here's a gentler question. What would happen if you slowed down in small doses, not forever? Not a dramatic, I'm deleting all my apps and moving to the woods moment. Just 5 minutes of quiet. A walk without headphones, sitting in your car before going inside. Letting a feeling arrive without immediately solving it. Which type did you recognize most? The achiever, the helper, the overthinker, the identity builder, the wounded optimist. Or maybe you're a combo platter. If this hit home, you don't need to become a completely different person. You don't need to stop being driven, caring, or productive. You just need to stop using motion as your only form of emotional safety. And if you want more scripts like this, human behavior, hidden motives, the stuff people do without realizing why, subscribe. Because the more you understand the psychology, the less you have to run from yourself.